I am this close to falling off the deep end. I know I'm smiling right now, but the light inside me is dying.
That after all the shit Destiny did, they would do something like this. And my main thing is, I'm guessing they're really, really, really hoping on everyone not reading this and just clicking accept. Because if you read through this, it's quite a fun read. If you'd like to know how much of Destiny you actually own, and how much of it is actually yours. This is quite a fun read indeed. And to be honest, I'd be surprised if... No, I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if not that many people cover this, but this needs more attention. I feel like, seriously, this is something that, you know, games as services, the things we've been warning you about. This is all the shit we've been talking about, and Bungie just flat out told us what it is. If you read through this license agreement, if you weren't one of those idiots who just clicked yes and read it, because it's like EA, you gotta read their license agreements. You really gotta read their license agreements. You can't trust EA, and it seems like Bungie's the same thing. So we're gonna go through here. I've pre-recorded this because, you know, I wasn't sure what I would find going through it, but I found some pretty interesting shit, you know. It's gonna be quite a long video, I'm guessing, because it broke this up into 3 separate parts. I don't remember when it was exactly I started, following along with the mouse, but I believe it was when I started noticing shit that was like, what the fuck, you know? Started having me question, like, what are they doing? Like, what is this? What's going on? Why, you know? So, you know, if you pause it yourself, start reading, but I'm gonna wait till the mouse comes in, and then we'll start going from there. I'm dyslexic, so, you know, if I fuck up while I'm trying to read along with it, I'm sorry. I have trouble reading with that crap, you know. There's some key parts of this that I want to point out. It's not the entire thing. I really don't feel like reading this entire thing out. Because, again, I'm dyslexic, and it'll be a pain in the ass in order for me to do that. And it took me long enough to read the entire thing by myself, you know, with my dyslexia. And here we go. Let's see. Limited use license. Bungie guarantees you the non-exclusive, personal, non-transferable, limited right and license to install, use 1 copy of this program solely for your non-commercial use. All rights not specifically granted are reserved by Bungie. The program is licensed, not sold. Licensed, not sold for your use. Licensed. The program is licensed, not sold. That's one thing I wanted to, maybe I should pause here because I think I continue going. I wanted to make sure everyone is clear about this. The program that you paid for, that you bought with your money, is licensed, not sold. They licensed the program to you. They did not sell it to you. It is licensed for your use. If you hit accept, you're accepting this. Your license confers no title or ownership to this program. Make that 100% clear. Your license confers no title or ownership to this program. You do not own Destiny 2. You do not own the copy you paid for. You are licensing the right to use it. That is what you're paying for. Just want everyone to be 100% clear. This is what games as services is. You don't buy the game. You license the game. You don't own it. And later down the line, we'll get into why that is. It states later down the line that if they want to shut this game down completely for no reason, no, prior notice or anything, they have full right to do so. If you agreed to this, you agreed that they can completely shut this game down on you. You can lose all of your shit, and you will get nothing. You are agreeing to that. Let's make that clear. You are agreeing that they are... we'll get there. You know what? You've already, if you agreed to this, agreed that you do not own this game. You are being licensed the game. You do not have ownership to the program. There is no ownership to this program. You no longer own the title Destiny 2. You do not own this. It is licensed to you. And that license can end. That's the big thing here. These licenses can end anytime they choose. Anytime they want. But we'll continue. Your license confers no title or ownership to this program. And as you can see, I stopped for a moment because I was like, are you serious? I was like, holy shit, are you serious? The light inside me is dying. Because when MMOs shut down and they just completely wipe everything and it's gone forever? That's kind of what was running through my head there. I was like, wait a minute. So you mean when an MMO shuts down, or better yet, with MMOs, you don't technically own anything. You're pretty much, yeah. That's what was running through my head, but at the same time, this isn't... I wouldn't refer to it as an MMO. I mean, it's a shared world live service that you license and do not own. Your license confers no title or ownership to this program. God, I got hung up on that for a minute. Like, bruh, that bothered the shit out of me. When I first read that, I was just like, are you serious? And should not be considered as a sale of any right in this program. This agreement shall also apply to patches or updates you may obtain for the program unless the patch or update is accompanied by additional terms as provided in sections regarding blah blah blah. Wait, let me go back, make sure I'm not really missing anything. Yeah, in the agreement below, changes regarding to the agreement below. So yeah, get to the next page. Alright, license is subject to the following limitations. I'm only going to point out any of the major stuff, so unless it's a major thing, read it yourself. This is pretty much, let me stop for a moment. A lot of these things are pretty much basic bullshits to online games. You shouldn't do these anyways. So I'm not giving them shit for this. I don't want to... There's probably maybe like one or two things in here that shouldn't be, but most of the stuff in here is just common shit you don't do, Or at least you shouldn't do when it comes to video games or online anything or any of that. So there's really not too much here besides the normal average shit, but I think there might be one or two things I can't remember. See, it's like commonplace bullshit. Now I find that weird. Copy this program onto a hard drive or other storage device unless the program itself makes a copy during installation. I'm guessing maybe they're referring to digital copies. I'm kind of iffy on that. Or unless you are downloading the program from an authorized Activision Online reseller. So yeah, I'm guessing digital copies are safe, is what they're saying here. if you got it from bungie.net, but I don't really know if you can download it from anywhere else. I mean, I purchased it, I believe, from GameStop. So I purchased the digital copy from GameStop off their website because it was on sale. I don't know if that would, does that mean that it doesn't matter, I guess. It's a minor thing, let's put it like that. It's a minor detail. I'm pretty sure it has more to do with people that are hacking than anything, so it probably won't affect any of the legitimate players. Sell, rent, lease, license, distribute, or otherwise transfer this program or any copies therefore. Now, that has to do with reselling, and I kind of have to wonder, does that mean that non-digital copies, so anybody who bought like a console version, does that mean they can't sell their copies of Destiny? Is sell, rent, lease, license, distribute, or otherwise transfer this program or any copies therefore. So if, like, I think, isn't it, I can't remember what the hell the damn game rental companies are. They rent out games, or like companies that you can like specifically rent games from. Would they be in a violation? Or the people playing it, would they be in violation? Would the company renting out copies of Destiny to people be in violation, or are the people using these copies in violation? I have to ask. Also, is selling... I mean, I understand if you're making copies, like illegitimate copies of the game, and you're selling them on discs that you burned. I can see that that is wrong, and that is means for termination. I understand that completely. But sell, rent, lease, license, distribute, or otherwise transfer the program. So, does that mean that console players couldn't sell their copy to GameStop? Like, if they sold their thing to GameStop and then tried to come back later, would it recognize the CD somehow and ban them and the new player? Or would it just ban the person who sold their copy of the game and they'd never be able to come back to it? I have to ask. Again, I'm speculating. I'm just asking. It doesn't go into much detail other than you're not allowed to do this. So, we'll continue. Reverse engineer. Drive source code modifications. I'm guessing that would be like cheating, But then it also has to do with, there's hack, modify, Derivative creative works. See, now I feel like that has to do with modding. If people wanted to mod and create their own little stories, there's a thing in here. I can't remember if that's what it is. Reverse engineer. Derive source code, modify, duplicate, disassemble, or create derivative works from this program. Yeah, in a whole or in part. Now, when it comes to this, what I get the feeling of is that you're not allowed to use the assets of this game, modify, change, or create your own little thing whatsoever. There's no. Like, modding for, like, Skyrim or modifications, and I understand for an online game why modding is not okay. I'm not trying to say modding for online games is okay. It can be, dependent on how it's done, but, when people start using it to get an advantage, then it starts to become a problem. But when people are doing it just to create, like, outfits or flashier, attack animations or anything like that makes it just look better, stuff like that, more colorful or effects type stuff. Nothing that actually gives the person an edge, but makes it, it's like cosmetic. That's the best way to put it. Like cosmetic mods usually, or even mods that give story, add story, or any of that usually isn't a big issue. Unless it's like, I don't know, I guess only certain people are allowed to get it, and then only those certain people have the items, but I don't know, I guess you're not allowed to create without Activision's permission, let's put it like that. I think that's what they're trying to get across. Any unauthorized software program to gain an advantage. That, I believe, has to do with cheating. Any, like, cheat programs. Removing, disable, circumvent any notice or labels containing within the program. Removing, disabling, or circumventing any. So I'm guessing, like, if they start adding a shit ton of store notifications or things, okay, that would go in with modding right there. You know how in, like, fucking Bethesda you can use a mod to remove the Creation Club pop-up at the beginning of the thing? I think that what they're saying is you're not allowed to add any mod that could possibly remove, you know, like a heads up label for something or any of the words that tell you this or that. Like, let's say they start putting in more things that tell you to go to the store, and you wanted to add something to remove, or you wanted to remove it even though the game didn't have a way to remove it, but there is a way to remove it. You're not allowed to do that. That's pretty much what that is. You're not allowed to change or remove anything that's not... You're not allowed to do within the in-game settings, is what I get from that. Live game... This is... Live game elements. Your use of this program involves interaction with Bungie live games environments. The program and its live game environment changes over time. Bungie does not guarantee that you will be able to participate in all events or earn all in-game achievements. Does not guarantee that you will be able to participate. Does not guarantee that you will be able to participate. You agreed to this. You agreed that you will not be able to participate in all of these achievements in game achievement. Access to some live events may require additional purchase through an expansion pass or otherwise. If you agreed to this, then you agreed that you can get locked out of things at any time and have to pay if Bungie feels the need to do that more, like they're already not doing that enough with Forsaken. For customers in North America, this is where it started getting a little bit funky on me. There we go. That's where I should be. License conditions. Now, license conditions, I believe, or ownership, where did we leave off? It was the license conditions, if I got some stuff. I think we were last on license conditions, huh? Where the hell were we? See, that was the issue. When I was using the controller, this thing was being stupid. It didn't want to change or go over. And if you see here, I think it skips this one. Here we go. Let's see. Yeah, it completely skipped over when I was using the controller, and it threw me off. I was just like, wait a minute. I think I should be in ownership, reading ownership, because we just finished license conditions. There we go. Now, ownership. All title ownership rights and intellectual property rights in and to the program and any copies therefore owned by Bungie. This program is protected by the copyright laws of the United States, informational copyright treaty, and ownership laws, program certain rights, material Bungie and Activision. Okay, most of that doesn't matter. It's more like general crap right here is what this thing is. I mean, this is more of a... I should have just let you guys read it if you wanted to. Patches and updates. Bungie may deploy or provide patches, updates, and modifications to the program that must be installed. Must be installed for you to continue use of the program. Bungie may update the program remotely without notifying you, and you hereby grant to Bungie consent to deploy and apply such patches, updates, and modifications. So you're agreeing that they can patch, update, change, whatever, however, whenever, without or with telling you. You agreed to that. I just want to let you know. Limited warranty, Activision warranty on your customer. I think this is another thing that I don't really need to read. Doesn't mean you don't have to, because I already did read it. Alright, did we go? No. No, we didn't. I was trying to, but I think it was being stupid. Customers in North America for information about warranty replacement or customer services. I don't think I need to read this one either. For this, I just left it on screen for a little bit, so, because I'm not in Australia. If you want to pause and read for your area, go ahead. Same with the EU. You're going to have to pause and read, because I didn't really go through it. Limitations on damages. In no event will Bungie or Activision be liable for special incidents. God damn it. Going too fast. Dyslexia. Incidental or consequential damages resulting from personal use or malfunction of the program, including damages to property, loss of goodwill, computer failure or malfunctions, and to the extent permitted by law. So pretty much you're agreeing that if you have an issue, computer malfunction, blah blah blah, what I get is that if you lose all your shit, your progress, or any of that, thanks to some stupid bullshit, even if you've dropped like several $1,000s on loot boxes, Bungie's not liable for that. That's not their fault or their problem. You're going to have to start from scratch. That's what I'm getting. And limitations to damages, that's pretty much what that is. Now, if they're talking about physical copies, like if it's all scratched up and shit, then I can understand that. But we also have to think about digital copies. See, one thing, and I can see a lot of arguments arising, is the fact that a lot of people aren't thinking digital copies. We're going the way of the future here with these live services, and Bungie's pushing forward with it. Like, it's obvious. And what we're forgetting is that most people nowadays don't really buy physical copies unless they're on console, because only consoles really need the memory space unless you bought like a low hard drive, hard drive with low space, you know. Most people on PCs usually get 1 terabyte to 2 terabytes if they're smart when it comes to getting a gaming PC, so they don't really need to worry about storage space. We don't need physical copies of the game, and if you do buy a physical copy, it still downloads a digital copy anyways, so physical copies on PC doesn't really mean anything. So I'm applying these laws not only to physical copies, but also, well, I don't know if I should call it laws, but this license agreement I'm also applying to digital copies. So I'm taking into account digital and physical copies with these agreements here. So before anybody starts screaming, you know, oh, blah, 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 physical copies, everyone knows we're going in the way of digital. And more companies like Origin, I can't even remember, Xbox, they're doing like these passes where you, even Sony has their online thing where you can play games as long as you have a great internet connection. You have like a list to all their games if you pay monthly, you know. That's where more companies want to go, because they see that licensing games to you is more profitable than you purchasing, owning, and actually being the owner of this game, you know. You remember back when you would purchase a game and it was yours? Like, here it is again. The PlayStation 2 games. Anytime I do this, I'm whipping out the PlayStation 2 games. That's what this sound is. PlayStation 2, fucking PlayStation 1, GameCube, I own these games. PlayStation 3. These games, I own these games. Back in the day where you would purchase a game and you owned the game. It was yours. Super Smash Bros. I own this game. It's not licensed to me. See, the big difference between Super Smash Bros. On GameCube and Destiny 2 right now is that I actually own the property I paid for here. I actually own this game. Hell, Naruto. What is this? Clash of Ninja, I think? I can barely read it since it's all in red letters on the damn disc. Clash of Ninja 2. I own this. It is not licensed to me. At no time is Tonami or Tommy or whatever the hell the company's called gonna knock on my door and say, hey, we licensed you Naruto Clash of Ninja 2 for GameCube. I'm trying to find a date on here. You know, back in 2002, we licensed you that game. We're going to need that back now. We're collecting all of our games because we're ending the license to GameCube games, you know. No, that's never going to happen. It's never going to happen with my PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1. That's never going to happen. Because they're not licensed. There's the major difference between having a game licensed to you and having a game sold to you. Purchasing it. You're not purchasing a license, you're purchasing a product. Versus Destiny, where you're purchasing a license over a product. And that's a little hidden feature. I see, when I purchased Destiny, I had absolutely no clue I was purchasing a license and not the product itself. I thought I was buying the product, not a license to play the game. I thought I was buying a product, the game itself, the DLCs. I thought I was buying them to own them. You know, I would own them. All the stuff I worked for in the games, I owned it. No, I am licensed it. See, this is a thing a lot of gamers need to learn. When you're defending these companies, you need to learn your place. And this may come off as harsh, but you seriously need to learn your fucking places. You're no better than me. You don't own the game either. You are licensed the game. See, these company CEOs, the executives and their shareholders, they would tell you to learn your place. You don't own this product. They do. They would look you straight in the eye and say, you don't own this, we do. You are only licensed this. We can take it away from you at any time. Learn your fucking place. And the reason I know this is because I've worked for enough shitty companies to be told that. You know? When a company has people complaining about the shitty practices or stuff that's broken or something that needs to be fixed, and you go to your boss about it, and they give you the, you seem to not know your place, shut the fuck up, why the fuck would I take advice from you? It's my fucking business, you work here, you're replaceable, learn your goddamn place, get back to fucking work before I replace you. See, I've had those speeches, so I know what it's like, you know? And the people who defend this game, you need to learn your fucking place. You are no better than any of the people talking down on this game. You are not one of these corporate CEOs or the shareholders that are profiting from this, that don't give two shits about you. That's the major thing here. They don't give a flying rat's ass about you. If you, and you probably blindly accepted this, not knowing that you're allowing them you pretty much told them, okay, I'm happy that I don't own the game. If you hit yes to this agreement, you told Bungie you are perfectly okay with not owning this game, with it being licensed to you, instead of you owning it. And you know, when it comes to like licensing games and whatnot, I've always thought of that like monthly subs. Like, you know how I still play FFXIV. It has a monthly subscription. Now, that's a game I feel is licensed to me. And I'm okay with it because I'm paying a monthly subscription for the license, you know? It's not like they asked for a flat price and then I own the game. No, if I don't continue paying, I don't own the game. That's how it works. That's pretty much a licensing agreement. I mean, I don't know if Bungie's going to try that, if they're going to start asking for a subscription in order to play this. I think that would probably be one of the most dumbest moves the company could ever make if they were to. And honestly, I don't think they're that stupid, so I'll give them that. I don't think they would make a move like that anytime soon. Or I honestly don't think their next DLC is going to be worth it. Especially if what they're telling me now is I don't own it. If I buy that next DLC, I don't own it. Anyone who pre-ordered that DLC, if you hit yes to this, you do not own it. You are being licensed it. So if you dropped the 40, 80, I can't remember if it's 100 for the full extra bundle, whatever. If you dropped any amount of that money on that product, you do not own that product. It is being licensed to you. And we'll get into the ramifications of a license later, because it goes into it. No, trust me, this thing will tell you flat out what you're getting. Like, and this is the thing. A lot of people, like, it's going to be easy to tell when people go ahead and comment without watching the video on this one, because this is going to be very long, very boring probably, because we're just going through a license agreement. Me reading it myself was annoying, but it's Bungie. I don't trust them. I don't trust them, and thank God I didn't, because they're flat out telling you, you do not own this product. You are being licensed the product. It is not yours. It can be taken, later on they will tell you, it can be taken away at any time. So, that's the thing I want to get to. Let's continue, I guess. We might as well. Because, you know, this is going to be a while. There's more footage. Oh, also, apparently, to the extent permitted, damage of personal injury even. So, if you threaten to hurt yourself, I'm guessing damages for personal injuries. I'm guessing, like, you know, how some people get extreme about shit and then threaten to, like, kill themselves or hurt themselves or other people. Even if Bungie or Activision has been advised of the possibility of such. Damages. Bungie and Activision liability shall not exceed the actual price paid for the license to use the program. So, what I'm getting from that is, I think, and I'm just guessing from, you know, because this is mostly corporate speak here, and I'm not some big corporate license agreement writer. Damages from personal injuries, even if Bungie and Activision have been advised of the possibility. So if Activision, like, let's say you emailed Activision, get rid of the Eververse or I'm going to kill myself. Don't do that. First off, that's stupid. Don't do that. But what I'm getting from what this says is that Activision can only be held liable to the amount that you paid for the license. So if you paid, let's say, like $60, that's how much your family will probably get, is what I'm guessing, is what they're saying. Liability shall not exceed the actual price paid for the license to use this program. So let's say you dropped the 60 when it came out, your family would get $60 if you killed yourself, and it was because of some stupid shit on this game. If you know, you hurt yourself or serious injury and tried to take it up with the company and blame them, at most you'd get is however much money you dropped on the game. And, you know, some states, countries do not allow limitations, how long, implied warranties, blah, blah, blah. I'm just guessing at that. I honestly don't understand a lot of those. See, the legal stuff I'll leave and let other people, if they're interested, go ahead and explain away in the comments. The legal stuff I didn't really get much into. I was going to just leave it there for other people to read and go through, because I'm no legal expert. I'm not, I can't say that I know the laws when it comes to some of the things they talk about. Alright. License some states kind of exclude, may not apply. Yeah. Here's termination. I was thinking about it. Without prejudice or any rights of Bungie or Activision. Yeah, prejudice. Wait. Yeah, prejudice to any other rights of Bungie or to Activision. This agreement will terminate automatically if you fail to comply with its terms and conditions. In such event, you must destroy all copies of this program and all. Yeah, you must destroy all copies of this program. This kind of like sketches me out. What the fuck, Bungie? Like, seriously? Or maybe it's Activision, Activision's been being a real shit and a serious turd on the industry lately. Like, it seems like ever since EA outdid themselves, everyone else has been like, at least a few of the companies have been like, how can we outdo ourselves? We need to fucking shit on the industry too. Like, EA took a huge ass shit. They took a huge, long diarrhea shit on the industry. How the fuck can we do that? How can we shit and piss on the industry as well? How could we fling more shit like monkeys at the shit pile that is the gaming industry? It just seems like more companies are like looking at this and thinking, how can I be a monkey flinging shit at the shit pile too? At least that's what's going through my head here. How can I be a monkey flinging shit too? Because we don't have enough monkeys flinging shit in the game industry. But continuing, programs and all of its component parts. You must destroy all copies. You must destroy all copies of this program and all of its component parts. If you fail to comply with the terms and conditions, you must destroy all copies of this program and all of its component parts. So that means all your progress. You may also terminate the agreement at any time by permanently deleting any installation of the program and destroying all copies of the program in your personal or control. In your possession or control. Bungie or Activision may terminate this agreement at any time for any reason or no reason. You got that? Here it is. This is why licensing a game versus owning a game. And this is where probably a lot of the people who may comment without even watching the video, this is where it comes in. This is where the big difference between licensing and owning your fucking games comes in. I'ma read it again for you. Bungie or Activision may terminate this agreement at any time for any reason or for no reason. Hey, that's how it is. That's how it works. For no reason at all. Let's just say one day, hey, you're playing Bungie, all of a sudden disconnected. Hey, the game ain't live no more, can't play no more. Hey, it sucks to be you, go suck a lemon. Lost your money. That's because you licensed the game. You don't own it. So, hey, if they want to shut it down at any time, any possibility, any reason, they can. They just shove it up your ass. Just straight up the ass. They don't even say, hey, I'm walking here. They just run up and jam it right in your ass. I'm not even fucking around. This is what they're fucking doing. This is live service gaming. This is what you people asked for. All you people who defended microtransactions. all you people who defended live services, all you people who defended EA, Activision, Bungie, Ubisoft, and I know Ubisoft has been getting better. I'm not giving them as much shit. They've been getting better with their bullshit, but all you people who have been defending this bullshit had yet to see, and we've been warning you. We've been screaming this for the longest. We are going to be fucked in the end, because live games, and this is something they haven't been telling us, either it's just taking effect now, or they haven't been telling us ahead of time. You know, you don't own the product. You are licensed a product. And if they decide to shut this product down at any time, for any reason, or for no reason at all, let's just say one day, whoever it is who is in charge of this game, fully in charge, I mean they have final say of everything. If they decide, you know what, I don't like this anymore. Fuck the game. I don't even want to sell it to anyone. Shut it down. It's shut down. That's where the or no reason comes in. Bungie or Activision may terminate this agreement at any time for any reason or no reason. So, that could be the game, that could be your termination would mean that your license agreement can be, pretty much you being terminated. Again. And it just shut down. You can be removed. Matter of fact, you can be terminated. Terminate your licensed agreement, not your paid purchased game, the one that you paid and bought. I'm talking about your license agreement that you're paying for with Activision and Bungie. Remember, you do not own this. You licensed it. So it can be terminated at any time for any reason or for no reason whatsoever. Hey, maybe you know what? Let's say they want to play a game of, I'm just making this up. Let's ban someone. You know, you go through a list of people, close your eyes, of players in Bungie, and then you just go up and down and you click. And boom. Whoever this person, if that was their in-game name, ban them. Terminate their agreement. Because for no reason whatsoever, they have the right to do that. You know? Terminate the agreement. This license agreement can be terminated at any time. Any license agreement, any agreements, anything is subject to termination at any time for any reason or for no reason whatsoever. You know, they don't even need to tell you. In such events, and here we go. Let's get into the good part. The better part of this, you know, continuing on. I think I kind of freaked out a little bit when I read that. Bungie, in such events, you must destroy all copies of the program and all of its component parts. So, I'm really hoping, and this is a serious hope, that this means that, let's say in the future, Bungie decides, okay, we want to completely change our licensing agreement, blah blah blah, we're going to terminate the old one. You're going to have to delete everything in order to continue following up with this next new agreement or whatever, if they so choose that needs to be the thing. So all your progress, everything you worked for, you must destroy all copies of the program and all of its component parts. You must. The license limitation on damages and warranty, and I'm guessing this has to do with physical when it comes to damages, because at most when it comes to a non-physical copy you can get, like, I guess code errors or maybe it downloads wrong, and a lot of that can be fixed by yourself. You know, you can go in there and actually change the code to what it correctly needs to be. Sometimes people will literally just release like, so let's say a specific file in a game will get corrupt. Sometimes people will put out that one file so you can just replace it in case that does happen and your game works again. I'm hoping that they're not going to prevent such things, because if that does become an issue, and let's say Bungie fucks up, one little line of code causes game crashes, but somebody, in the gaming community happens to know how to fix this and says, look, all you got to do is go in here and change this line to this. Copy and paste it, save, your game will be fine. I don't know if Bungie will terminate them and anybody else who does that. That's an iffy subject there now. That's one of those risk things that, you'd end up having to wait till they fix any problems instead of trying to fix it yourself or going to somebody for help for a fix when it comes to these games. Also, I'm guessing when it comes to digital copies on PC, you can fix most of the damn problems. They're saying you're not allowed to change anything or any of this, so you could potentially be terminated for fixing any game issues you do have. They're saying that they're not at fault. There's limited warranty, blah, blah, blah. They're trying to keep them protected with that. That's what I'm getting from the end of this. It's not their fault. But the license, blah, blah, blah. U.S. government restriction rates. Alright, this thing, unless there's like any specific stuff, a lot of this I don't really understand. Again, this is where it starts getting into the legal, very, very legal crap, and a lot of it I'm not 100% sure of. So if anybody who knows law or whatever would probably want to go over this more than an average gamer. Average gamers really wouldn't understand a lot of this, but it does talk about your ability to at some point sue the company and the rights you do and do not have. It goes into that at some points. So, for some people, they might want to know this information. That's why I'm putting it in here. Other people may not care. The main things is that you do not own this game. That's one thing that everybody needs to learn. You're being licensed to this game. I don't know if they've told us this in the past. I've never seen anything about this before. And maybe I don't remember the older license agreements. Maybe I agreed to one when they originally released the game. Every game has these license agreements nowadays. But, with the way Bungie's been, them releasing a new one, it's one of those things of, I gotta read it. And, it's quite stunning to find out some of the stuff. That you don't own this game. You're just licensed the game. It can be terminated at any time. The license, your agreements, blah, blah, blah. Everything is subject to change. They also talk about that. I don't know if we've already gone past that or if we'll get to that at some point. This whole license agreement as well is completely subject to change at any point, at any time, with or without telling us. It says that at some point. You agree to God damn it, I hate that. I hate reading. Hold Bungie. I'm trying to see if it's important. No, I don't think it's important. I think this is more legal stuff. Alright, so some of it's kind of harmless of all damages. Employees and agents harmless of all damages, loss, and expenses arising directly or indirectly from your breach of this agreement and or your acts of the omission in using this program The terms agreement. So pretty much what this is saying is if you breach contract or any of this or break the agreement and they terminate you, they are not liable. None of the people who work there, none of their agents, the company is not liable for any expenses you will lose in breaching of the agreement, is what I'm getting from this. Kind of funny that that's how it happens, but whatever. So I'm guessing from this is what they're saying is they're not at fault for any monetary losses that happen because of your breaches of agreement. Changes to the agreement. This is where they talk about how everything can be changed at any time without telling you for no reason, blah blah blah. Sometimes they may tell you by posting it to the support page, blah blah blah. Other times they may not say anything and just change things and just do it or whatever, blah blah blah. You can read it, you see what's going on here. But they do say anytime by any means, including without by posting the modifications. Yep, that's the end of this one. By posting them to the support, by requesting you to click and to accept when Bungie upgrades or patches the program, and your continued use of the program, and your acceptance and modification to change. The changes to the agreement will be effective upon prior notice as follows. Bungie and Activision will post their reserved version of the agreement to their website, may include the terms with the patch or update and require acceptance in that process, or may provide such other notice as Bungie and direct. If any further changes to this agreement are unacceptable to you or cause you to no longer be in complacency, and when I get there, if any further changes to the agreement are unacceptable to you or cause you to no longer be in complacency. Complacency. That's a word you need to get comfortable with in the game industry. In complacency with this agreement. No longer be in complacence. You need to get used to that word. No longer in complacence with this agreement. You may terminate this agreement and receive a refund in accordance with the agreement. Your installation and use of any Bungie updates, patches, modifications to the program, or your continued use of the program following notice of changes to this agreement will demonstrate your acceptance of any and all such changes. So if you hit yes and continued on playing, that demonstrates that you have accepted all of these new changes, if any are new. You accept the fact that you do not own this game and it is licensed to you. You accept the fact that you can be terminated at any time for any reason or for no reason. The agreement and licensing and all this can be shut down and terminated and changed for no reason or any reason or just whenever they feel like it. You accept that. Welcome to Games as Services. Welcome to the future of gaming. I can't wait till they start charging us for steps. Like fucking mobile games. Any further modifications are implemented as a click to accept agreement. You may not be able to continue using the program unless you accept, service provided content. Okay, here we go. Service provided content. Now, for all you, and this is, again, probably going to go into people who didn't watch the full video and commented before we get to the point of microtransaction defenders. This is what you're defending. I want everyone who defends microtransactions, everyone who's defended any live service bullshit game that is just jam-packed full of microtransactions and said it's okay. This is something you need to understand when it comes to these live services and these service-provided content. See, we look at it as gamers as we buy something, it's ours. They're looking at it at a whole different way. They're looking at it from the corporate perspective. See, one thing that the gaming industry, and not the industry itself, gamers in the gaming industry have not evolved to, is learning how to look at things from a corporate perspective. I've somewhat started doing that because unless, like, if you look at games nowadays, it's all about maximizing revenue. And that's how corporations work. It's all about maximizing profit, making the most money you can while losing the least amount possible. And if that means not even selling something to someone, instead you're leasing it to them, pretty much, licensing it to them, allowing them to use it for a set amount of time until you decide to shut it down, then hey, that's how it works, and you make a lot of money. Bungie's made a lot of money. Who's to say they haven't? But, one of the things that a lot of gamers need to start doing is start looking at games from a corporate perspective. And, I think I called them donors in the last video. What I meant to say was shareholders. Shareholders run these companies. Shareholders are destroying our video games. And you people that defend these service-provided content, these live services, these loot boxes, these microtransactions, you are defending shareholders who are paying these companies to put them in their games, because when they make money off of these microtransactions, when the company's making money off of these microtransactions and they're getting more and more revenue, like Fortnite's made over, like, what, $1 billion something dollars? Over $1 billion? The shareholders are banking. That's the main thing. And government's the same way. It's all about your donors and your shareholders and who is paying you the money. Is it gonna, whatever you do needs to make them money. It doesn't matter about the people, the gamers, the industry, or what effects it's gonna have on the economy or society or other countries or trade or any of that shit. That doesn't matter. We put that aside so we can please our shareholders and our donors. Politics and gaming. Two different sides of the same coin at this point. We put aside the customer or the citizens to please the shareholders and donors, the people who actually matter. Those are the ones who they care about. See, again, you people defending these companies and these microtransactions and all this shit, they don't care about you. It's their shareholders they care about. Because you defending them is going to make their shareholders money. That's the thing. They don't got to say shit. They already know there's going to be like 50 million people out there defending the microtransactions and the bullshit they're pulling and the fact people are going to defend. That's the worst part about it. I guarantee someone will defend the fact that it's okay for a company to license you a game instead of sell it to you the way Bungie did. Like, for MMOs and shit like that, again, I can understand for, like, subscription-based MMOs, free-to-play MMOs, any of those MMOs, like that shit. But now that everything's turning into a live service, which is pretty much a watered-down MMO, every game is becoming a license and not an ownership. And this is something that the game industry isn't... Well, the game industry is keeping up on it. Gamers aren't keeping up on it. You see, this is the thing. Gamers need to fucking wake the fuck up. Y'all need to wake the fuck up. And for y'all defenders of these service-provided content, y'all aren't gonna be happy to hear some of this shit. Some of y'all who love these microtransactions and these loot boxes, if you haven't already started reading it, you're gonna be disappointed when I start going through it, because this is some fuck shit. Like, if I was somebody who bought shit from this game, I'd be pissed. I mean, we might as well get it. Service-provided content consists of those materials provided to program users, e.g. unlockable content, accounts, stats, virtual assets, virtual currencies, codes, and achievements in God damn, I'm moving the mouse too fast. I was reading them faster in my head before. In connection with use of the program, while the program may allow you to earn, buy, or purchase service-provided content within or within or in connection with gameplay, you do not in fact own or have any property interests in the service-provided content. Now, again, for you loot box defenders, for you microtransaction defenders, for you live service defenders, you do not in fact own or have any property interest in the service provided content. You do not own or have any property interest in the service provided content. You don't own it. Any of these microtransactions you've bought, you don't own it. You have no property rights to it. Let that sink in. How many years have any of you defended microtransactions? How many years have you defended loot boxes? How many years have you said it's just cosmetic? Now let it sink in that you don't own any of those things. Just take a moment and think about it. How much money have you spent? I could think right now, Bliss Online, I've spent over $100-something on cosmetics. And if it's the same thing as Bungie, I don't own any of that, technically. I don't own a single amount of it. If it works off of the same way, since it's an MMO, an actual MMO, you know? But let it sink in. You do not own any of this. Anything. Nothing. Let me read the whole thing. Service-provided content consists of those materials provided to program users, e.g. unlockables, content, accounts, stats, your stats, virtual assets, virtual currencies. So virtual currencies in-game or paid, codes, your game codes I'm guessing, and achievements. You do not own any of it. Let that sink in. All of that work, all that time put into the game, all of your achievements, all of your guns, exotics, any of it. You do not own it. It is not yours. It is Bungie's and Activision's. You are licensed the right to use it. Learn your fucking place. You don't own this. You are licensed it. You are not an owner. You do not hold any rights. You hold some rights when you start spending some money. But out of that, you don't own shit. This isn't your property. It's not yours. It's Bungie's and Activision's. Now, we'll continue. Unless otherwise specified in writing, any service-provided content that you receive is licensed to you as set forth herein. I'm guessing they're trying to say like here, forth, as in moving forward. I guess I've never seen Herein, herein. I've never seen anyone use that. Matter of fact, I'm looking that up. I really have never seen that word before. I don't think I have. It'd be funny to find a misspell. As set forth herein. Where the hell was it? Herein. In this document or book. Okay. In matters arising. That's what that means. I've never seen that word before. And you shall have no ownership rights, therefore. They're wise. Or too wise. Too wise, I guess. You know, I hate how corporations speak, you know. They always have to say it weird. It makes it hard to read the sentences themselves because they're making it so fancy. And the main thing is, I'm guaranteeing they do it as a thing to confuse any consumers that would read these things. Like, I know for a fact that if somebody were to start reading this, they want them to feel confused and misunderstood, like, as soon as possible. That way, they stop reading and just click OK because they want to play their game. But if you did that, here we are to let you know what you're saying OK to. Provided, receive, service provided content unless otherwise specified in writing. So unless they specifically have it specified in writing that you own something, you don't own it. Which means you probably have to work for Bungie in order to actually own something, you know? In order for it to be specified in writing. I'm guessing that's the only real way to get it, because I don't think a GameStop receipt would count as specified writing for ownership, sadly. Anymore, at least, you know. I think they're trying to get away with selling. I think they're trying to stop selling pre-owned copies. I don't think they want people selling copies of this game anymore, like pre-owned. I think they're trying to end that. That's just my opinion off of what I'm seeing here. It feels like they want to end pre-owned, but certified content unless otherwise specified in writing. Service provided content that you receive is licensed to you as set forth herein in this document. I don't know why they didn't just say in this document. And you shall have no ownership rights thereto. You have no ownership rights thereto. But yeah, again, you receive content that you receive is licensed to you. Let me go over that several times. Content that you receive is licensed to you as set forth by this document. That's what this means. And you shall have no ownership rights thereto unless specifically permitted by Bungie. Unless specifically permitted by Bungie, you have zero ownership rights to anything. Again, you probably got to be like one of their Twitch streamers or whatever to get this. That's what I'm guessing. The only people who are probably given actual ownership rights to this game are developers, CEOs, and probably anybody that is in the pocket of Bungie and Activision that plays the game on streams and whatnot, you know, for money. They're probably the only people who will get that. So unless you're like kissing mad crazy ass and getting free shit from Bungie and Activision, you probably no, you don't own the game. Like, I'm guessing only people that, like, you know, written. It says it needs to be written, or unless written, you know, otherwise specified in writing. And you'd have to actually get that from Bungie to, you know, in order to get something like that from a company, you'd actually have to be able to talk to the company. And I'm not talking about, like, you know, go through their automated voice bullshit to get to some lady in India. I'm talking about have a conversation with somebody who's at the company working there, blah, blah, blah. You know, I think I've worked here long enough to own some of this game now, type of thing, maybe. The average you and me Joe, who it's way, way, way better for them to just lease the game to than have us own it. We're not going to own the game. We don't get that. So, yeah, unless permitted, you may not sell, lend, rent, trade, or otherwise transfer any service provided content. Services provided wait, did they do it twice? Any service provided content. Oh, okay, and then there's a period. I didn't see it. Service provided content may be altered, removed, deleted, or discontinued by Bungie at any time. This is another thing that people need to learn about live services, microtransactions, and not owning the product. Service-provided content may be altered, removed, deleted, or discontinued by Bungie at any time. E.g., upon transmission of this agreement and/or I'm not there yet, am I? And/or of online support for the program, even if you have not used or consumed a service provided content prior to alteration, removal, deletion, or discontinuation. Some service provided content included without limitation activities. Okay, see, that's my dyslexia there. I was seeing something other than a V for a moment, and I was like, what the fuck? Activities, maps, and gear may be made available to players for only a limited time. We already know that. Bungie likes to do limited time bullshit with a lot of their crap. I'm just guessing now that they're putting it in stone so that if they try to pull more bullshit and make it worse, you agreed to it. You're agreeing to this. That's what I'm getting out of this. All the dirty bullshit that Bungie has pulled in the past and has already done and drawn back, and they've been going back and updating and trying to fix and make it better. What I'm getting from this service agreement right now is that Bungie is trying to get you to agree that it's okay for them to do it again. It's pretty much what this thing is saying so far. They pretty much want you to agree that we can bring back all the old bullshit that pissed you off before, and you can't do anything because you don't own the product. You can complain, but you don't own the product at the end of the day, so, it's subject to termination if we feel like it. That's what I'm getting from this. That's my general feeling that I get from this license agreement. Bungie is pretty much saying, yeah, we got caught doing what we did, but if we can get you guys to agree in writing, we could definitely bring all that stupid shit back, and there's nothing you can do about it because you agreed to it, and it's in writing, and that's how America works. If they got it in writing and you agreed, then yeah, you're fucked, pretty much. That's the best way to put it. But continuing on. Service-provided content has no monetary value and does not property at any types. Let's get that. Service-provided content has no monetary value and does not constitute property of any type. Remember that. Service-provided content has no monetary value and does not constitute property of any type. Again, these may seem like little things, but honestly, in the corporate world, these are huge things that you're giving a company. Like, again, you gotta look at this from a corporate perspective. You're giving this company everything right now, pretty much. They're asking you to give everything and buy this next expansion. Like, wow. 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 I honestly hope that this new license agreement does allow me to get my money back, because I'd rather get a refund. I'm like 100. I want a refund. At this point, this is fucked up. This is like beyond fucked up. And I could go into the list of reasons, but I don't have to. Bungie listed them out for me. Like, that's the best part about this. Like, I've been wanting to call Bungie out for some shit. And there's some things I've been wanting to say. And I've been wanting to get a big list of it all and have it all ready so I can make a big video and say everything I wanted to without missing anything, because a lot of times I miss a lot. But I didn't have to. Bungie literally put it all in front of me. I haven't played the game in quite some time. And I came back, just to check the state of it, hoping, it's not getting worse. I was wrong. It's getting worse. And Bungie, or Activision, whoever, is making it worse. Let me read it to you one more time. Service-provided content has no monetary value and does not constitute property of any type. Think of that as a corporate perspective, not as a consumer, because most consumers will look at that and be like, yeah, okay, and move on. Think of it as a corporation. I'm selling you something. You're purchasing it from me. And now it has no value whatsoever. It went from being worth $10, $20, $30, maybe $40 even. It used to cost that, but the second it came into your hands and you transferred the money to me, it loses all value. That's the corporate way. Not to mention, does not constitute property of any type. Does not constitute property. Let's look at that as a corporate perspective as well. Does not constitute property. My phone. My cell phone is my property. I own it. It's mine. LG isn't licensing this phone to me. I purchased it and I owned it. Thus, it is my property. If the service-provided content is not considered property, then it is not considered an item, technically, in, let's go with the corporate world, or the business world, where you'd want to resell. Wherever, if you'd want to resell it, get your money back, you can't. Not only did it lose all value the second you purchased it, but it no longer counts as property. It's not even your own property. That's the best way to put it. It's not even your property. You don't own it. I mean, you can defend this all you like. I don't see why anyone would want to defend this. Why? Seriously, anybody who is going to try and defend this, I want a serious explanation as to why it is okay for you to pay $60 for a game and you do not own it. You are licensed it. You can purchase microtransactions and you do not own them. They lose all value as soon as you buy them, and they're not even yours, your property. You do not own them whatsoever. They can be removed, deleted, changed at any time, and you have no say in this. Why is that okay? How is that okay? And I only said 60 in microtransactions. I'm not even taking into account the two mess of DLCs that were fucking Warmind, and I can't even remember the other name. That's how unforgettable it is. Maybe I didn't even get Warmind correctly. I don't know if that's what it's called, or whatever the fuck. The giant worm. That's all I really remember from it. You fight the giant worm. Like, why? Either way, how is it okay? So you spent $60, and you spent $40 for the other DLC, and then $40 for another DLC, or you just bought the season pass. Can't remember how much that originally was. So 60 with both DLCs on top of season pass. I think maybe season pass 40. I can't remember. Either way, the new DLC, which is going to be about $80 with the action pass or whatever the fuck it is, which is kind of required if you want everything. It is required if you want everything. So you're looking about $80 more. How is it okay to drop around... Yeah, well, no, not even around. It is $100-something on a game, not including microtransactions. And it is not yours. You don't own it. It's not your property. It's licensed to you. It can be taken away, terminated, shut down, removed. Even your items, stats, gear, achievements, all of that is subject to change, removal, or anything at any time for any reason or no reason. Why is that okay? And I want a better reason than because they own it. No shit, they own it. Like, how many companies make games and don't do this crap? That's my main thing. How many companies create video games and don't pull a bungie? You know? That's the best way to fucking put it. I mean... See, now I'm gonna have to read that license agreement for fucking Anthem. That's one of those things where it's like, Anthem? When Anthem comes out, I'm gonna have to read it to see if I actually own the game or not. Because if I don't own it, why should I buy it? And that's how I'm looking at a lot of these games now. If I don't own this stuff, why should I keep spending money? Like, I am spending money technically on nothing. In a few years from now, when they do shut it all down and remove it, it'll all be gone. And from what they're telling me, I don't even own it. I'm spending money on shit that I don't even own. I don't even own the rights, the property, nothing. That's where my money's going. I'm handing it to a corporation so I can not get anything. I mean, technically they are giving me something, but I don't own it. It's not mine. At all. Like, how can you defend that? I really want to know. How is that okay? And then on top of that, they gotta add microtransactions. Like, it's not enough that you don't own the game already. It's not enough that all of this shit. It's not enough that your achievements, your stats, your items, everything you work for, blah, 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 can be subjective to change, deletion, removal, or whatever at any time. You might be forced to completely delete all of your shit at some point if they decide to change specific things. How is that okay? Like, bro, I gotta ask. And this is for, like, I guess any Destiny loot box defenders who enjoy spending money in this game. What are you gonna say if one day Destiny decides to do a huge revamp and you are left with the option of erase all data, or you're not allowed to play anymore? Well, no, you'll be allowed to play, but you're going to be terminated, and you can't come back. Think about that. Think about that. Your options are to erase all work, all progress, or a matter of fact, let's say some of the shit you worked your ass off for just up and disappears one day. Some of the gear you liked up and disappears one day. Some of your stats just change and are horrible now. Your microtransactions you do not own. The second you buy them, they lose all value, and they're not even your property. You have no property rights to it. They can take it away, change it, remove it from the game at any time if they so feel. And, you know, I honestly don't see how you can defend that. You're pretty much defending a company's right to sell you something and then be like, alright, you know what? I'm taking that back. Would you like to buy this now? Like, imagine if you went to, like, fucking Burger King and bought, like, 3 hamburgers and a fucking slushie. And after you got your food and sat at your table, Burger King were to be like, hey, look, I'm sorry, but our policies are changing. I'm going to have to take back 2 of those hamburgers and that slushie. But you're welcome to purchase more food if you'd like. Like, seriously, and you're left with 1 hamburger. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, we gotta take 1 piece of bread away from that hamburger. policy changes, sorry. But you can get it back for 50 cents if you'd like, and an extra pickle for another 7. That's the game industry. I don't care what anybody says. That's the game industry right there. I mean, you don't have to sign a license agreement to buy from Burger King. But, if Burger King started forcing people to sign license agreements that allowed them to do shit like that, I guarantee there would be people defending it. People would be out there saying, oh, it's a company. They have right to do what they want with their shit, blah, blah, blah. It's just, blah, blah, blah. It's only a couple dollars. There'd be excuses. It's cult mentality. It's the same with politics. People follow Trump like as if it was a cult. And people follow these corporations as if it was a cult. Cult mentality is destroying a lot. And I remember when it used to just be like sports and Kiss and fucking Star Trek and whatnot. Remember? And there were a few other cults. There was that one that did the fucking Kool-Aid thing. I remember when it used to just be like you'd look at stuff like those and think cult mentality. But now you look at politics, gaming, jobs, anything pretty much, and there's always that cult mentality, it seems, that people are getting, where it's like, we have to defend it, no matter what. We have to. We have to put our lives on the line for a company that I just gave $100 and something, and now I don't even own the things that I bought. But I still need to tell this person that they're wrong for calling out the company for allowing me to purchase things that I don't own. I still need to defend the company from the YouTuber that's talking about the fact that I purchase things and I don't own them. I need to attack the YouTuber and not get mad at the company. You know what that is? You know exactly what this cult mentality bullshit is. And again, this goes in with politics. And this, I try not to talk about race issues. Let's bring that into play here. But race issues. You know what race issues are? It's a distraction. It's a complete distraction to keep people fighting amongst themselves. When it comes to politics, the biggest things, or the most helpful things, are distractions. If people are distracted, they won't pay attention to slimy corporate greed or any type of legislation that passes that screws over people, or anybody can secretly and quickly pass their little anything. If the whole country is focused on immigrant children being forced into camps, if the whole country's focused on that, corporations can pass more legislation because the civilians are fighting over a race issue. You have one side that's like, screw immigrants, and the other side that's like, humans are humans, And instead of the people fighting those corporations that are passing their laws, fucking over everyone, and using those immigrants as their scapegoat in order to do so, we fight amongst ourselves constantly. That's what race issue is. That's what it is. This race issue in the country is just a distraction for corporations so they can continue to be greedy and screw over. Like, again, I've said it like a billion times with Trump, and I try to stay out of politics, but anytime he gets in this, any bullshit, any serious bullshit, anytime he gets into some serious trouble, all he has to do is something outrageously racist, or anything that just offensive towards the immigrant community, and he's good with his supporters again. That's how it works. And it's a distraction, but unfortunately it's a working distraction, That's the thing. It's like, people get distracted by the nice shiny. Let's put it like that, like Destiny. And in Destiny you get distracted by the nice shiny exotic. They want you to think more about that nice shiny exotic you've been working for, or you could probably get in 10 weeks of grinding, than you would the fact that you don't even own that nice shiny exotic. They rather you focus on the fact that, ooh, this one does this and has this effect, than you have no right to this property, and it can be removed at any time, you know? It's the same fucking thing in a way. I mean, race issues date back longer, but in the end, it's if you keep the public distracted, they won't focus on the corporations that are actually causing the problems. And that's the truth. They want you to fight for their side. If they keep people, and they put out their bullshit to try and make it seem like it's okay for them to do this, and that's what people use to try and defend their bullshit. That's the best part, even though it's bullshit. You know, it's like race issues. Trump says something insanely racist. His supporters jump on the racist bandwagon and attack whatever race he was attacking that time, instead of focusing on the fact that he had an affair with Stormy Daniels, you know? Like, it's literally how it works. He has an affair, everybody starts talking about the affair, and then all he has to do is bash on immigrants, and everybody's focused on race again, because it's a good distraction. It's an easy distraction for this country. Like, I feel like one of the biggest distractions for this country is just be racist. Like, if you want people to get distracted from any controversy, turn it into a race issue. Make people fight amongst themselves. It's literally all you have to do. And that's what they're doing with the game industry. They turn us, like, at some point, I don't know when it happened, because I remember when games used to be like a thing where everybody would come together. Gaming was about coming together, playing with friends, having fun. It wasn't about microtransactions or speeding up progress. If you wanted to do that, there were cheat codes. And, you know, it was harder to find them back in the day. You used to be able to print them out from the computer and whatnot. But it wasn't this thing of people defend a game, like, to the point where they start sending death threats to people. Or they start saying faggot on, like, every video you've posted, you know? We weren't at that, like, long ago. That wasn't a thing. But, I mean, that's where we're at now. I mean, it's ridiculous, this cult mentality of fucking video games. Or maybe you want to know what it is? We've just had, like, an influx of children into the gaming industry, and they don't know any better. It could be that. And, you know, I won't hold it against children who don't know any better. But that's even more fucked up. It does say somewhere in here that, you know, you should be 18 and older to consent to this. And if you're not, you should have a parent look through it or something. But I'm going to guarantee 99% of the children under the age of 18 that have come across this just hit accept right away. And they probably don't give a shit about leasing, well, not leasing, having the game licensed and not owning it. They care more about the fact that, ooh, Bungie, ooh, not Bungie, ooh, Destiny 2, ooh, Speeder, ooh, Engram, ooh, Exotic, ooh, doing the same thing 255 million times. You know, they don't give a shit. They can do that. They can replay strikes for days and 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 days without even having the single thought of, holy fuck, if I do this one more time, I'm gonna kill myself. Like, they can do that. Children can do that, and that's the thing. It's easier to market to children these microtransactions and all this bullshit and the fact that you don't own shit than it is to an adult who will look at this and be like, hold up. Let's continue on. Go on to the next page, might as well. Without limiting the above, service-provided content may include virtual coins, points, or other virtual currencies. Oh wait, that one, yeah. By purchasing or otherwise acquiring virtual currencies, you obtain a limited license. Now, you see that, right? I know I rambled on quite some time, so again, if you commented and still didn't wait to see more, any virtual currencies you buy, understand that you are obtaining a limited license to this virtual currency. You do not own it. You do not own that virtual currency you paid for. You are getting a limited license with Bungie. Understand that. This is the way this is like the way games are going. This is the way the game industry is heading. All you people who defended this shit, all you people who said it was okay, all you whales that are spending thousands upon thousands of dollars on Fortnite, or any other stupid-ass game with microtransactions. And Fortnite's not that bad. You know, Fortnite deserves it. I take that back. Give Fortnite your money. They deserve it more than Bungie. But all you people that throw money at these systems are exactly the reason why this is what games are going to turn into. I can guarantee in the next few years, more and more games are going to go with a licensing agreement over ownership of the game. Because what's better? Having the person you gave the game licensed, a limited license, especially with in-game currency, you get a limited time license. A limited license, you know, so it only lasts a specific amount of time, which means your in-game currency could probably disappear whenever, but you don't own it. What's better for a company? Selling somebody something they have zero ownership to? Or selling somebody something that they have full rights and ownership to? What would a company have more leeway to screw you, to use you, to take away? Which would give the company more advantage in court? Again, look at this from a corporate perspective, not as a video gamer. We're not doing this as gamers today. We're doing this as corporate analysts, I guess, of what the corporate machine is doing to our games. That's how we need to start looking at this. That's how today's video needs to be treated. It needs to be treated as a corporate video, not a video game video. This is not a video game video. This has nothing. This should have nothing to do with gaming. But thanks to all you people defending loot boxes and microtransactions and telling companies we're perfectly fine with not owning a product, this is what we get. This is where we're going to be at. And down the line, these games will shut down one day. One day, Destiny 1 won't be around anymore. I don't know if that game follows the same trend, but if I'm correct, they update Destiny 1 still. So it might get the same license agreement, knowing Bungie. And if it gets that license agreement, and you accept to it, then you're giving them the right to shut it down. And here's my biggest worry here. We all have heard that they've been bought out by a Chinese company. We're all hearing rumors that they're thinking of selling Destiny to Activision. We're all hearing rumors, well, not even rumors, we know that they're working on Destiny 3 already. Why now? Why in the middle of all of that do they drop this on us? Why in the middle of all of that do they suddenly want us to confirm that we don't own anything? We have no rights to anything. That at any time it can be changed, shut down, removed, or taken away from us. I mean, honestly, again, look at it from a corporate perspective. Does that not seem the bit suspicious? In the middle of them being bought out by the Chinese, you know, rumors of them wanting to sell the game, the rights of the game, and the fact that they're working on the third game already. It doesn't seem the bit suspicious that they suddenly want you to agree to all this crap, especially before their next major DLC that they're coming out with. Because with all this shit that you're agreeing to, you're pretty much, if you agree to it, you're telling them, yes, you can fuck me in the next DLC. you can fuck me as hard as you like without lube. That's literally what you're telling them. You're flat out lifting your legs up in the air for them, saying, go right on in. Like, seriously. Virtual currencies. You do not own virtual currency. It's like, you obtain limited time license, which is revocable by Bungie at any time unless otherwise acquired by applicable laws. There you go. See, that's another one of those words I have trouble saying. Applicable laws. There we go. So even your virtual currency isn't safe from being taken away by purchasing a limited time license, which is revocable by Bungie at any time, unless by applicable laws. So probably by state or government laws, which, Netherlands and over there, they've been working their ass off to protect their consumers more than America has. So I'm going to guess that they have laws to protect against stuff like that. I don't think us Americans have many laws to protect against a company taking away any virtual paid currency and then, oh well, it's not like you owned it anyways. You were just buying a limited time license to the rights of the currency. You don't actually own it. Sorry. I mean, you could buy more. Maybe you won't lose this currency. Let's continue. Content. Virtual currency has no monetary value. Yeah, virtual currency, make sure that's clear. It has no monetary value and does not constitute currency or property of any type. Again, there's that again. It does not constitute property of any type. They use that a lot. And that's why I said, look at that from a corporate perspective, not as a gamer, from a corporate perspective. And, like, if you can understand what they're trying to get at, like, it's fucked. This is beyond fucked. Virtual currency may be redeemed for other service providers, for other service. Content only, if at all. Virtual currency cannot be sold or transferred and cannot be exchanged for cash or any other goods or services, except for other services provided content. While applicable subject to applicable local laws, virtual currency is non-refundable. Remember this, virtual currency is non-refundable. You are not entitled to a refund. You are not entitled to a refund. You are not entitled to a refund. You are not entitled to a refund or any other compensation such as service provided content for any unused virtual currency and provided content for any unused virtual currencies and unused virtual currency is non-exchangeable. It's non-exchangeable as well. So you're not entitled to refund. I know I said that like 6 times now, but I want that to be like 100% clear. You are not entitled to any refund for virtual currency. It does not constitute as property. It is how did they put it? A limited license agreement is what you're purchasing when you buy virtual currency. You're not buying virtual currency. You're buying a limited license agreement to the amount of virtual currency you'd like. You technically don't own it. It's not even your own property. It's just a limited license agreement. You're not entitled to a refund or any compensation for any such as service provided content for any unused virtual currency, and unused virtual currency is non-exchangeable. So if you lose any of your virtual currency that you paid for, you don't get it back. You don't get a refund. You don't even have the right to it. It's not even your property. So first, learn your place. If you get upset, you lose some of your virtual currency that you paid money for, the first thing you need to do is learn your place. You don't own it. It is not yours. It is a licensed agreement, a limited licensed agreement that you are signing by purchasing it. It is not your property of any kind. It is not considered your property. You are not entitled to a refund or any compensation for losing your virtual currency. And it is also non-exchangeable. Any unused virtual currency that may be lost is non-exchangeable. Again, whenever you're going to take your complaints to Bungie, if any of this affects you, if anybody gets affected by any of this, any of these things, that if they end up affecting any of the players of this game, because I'm done with this game now, I am 100% done. I am not giving more money to property that I don't own. Well, now that I specifically know that I do not even own this game, I'm going to try and get that refund, because fuck it. No, fuck you, Bungie. Fuck you, Destiny. Seriously. Seriously. Y'all playing some fuck shit here. But you don't own it. Just, you don't even own the virtual currency. It's not exchangeable. Alright, there may be service-provided content should you choose to purchase it, which will require you to make a payment with real money, the amount of which can be set out in the program. All service-provided content will be made available immediately when you purchase it with real money, and acknowledge that it is the case and that you will have no right to change your mind and cancel, sometimes known as a cooling off right. Once your purchase is complete, depending on your platform, any service-provided content purchase will be purchased from your platform provider, and such purchase will be subject to your platform provider's terms of service and user agreement. Please check user rights, as these may differ. Items useless, blah blah blah. This is on PC. This is the user license agreement that I'm getting for PC. And here's where they start talking about age rating. Availability for residents of North America. Neither Bungie nor Activision guarantees that any online service, play, or features associated with the program, collective online services, or service-provided content will be available at all times or at any given time that Bungie or Activision will continue to offer online services or service-provided content for any particular length of time. Bungie may cancel and update online services or service-provided content without notice to you. Neither Bungie nor Activision makes any warranty or... Give me a second. Warranty or representations regarding the availability of online services, and each reserve the right to modify or discontinue online services in its sole discretion without notice, including, for example, casing an online service for economic reasons due to a limited number of users continuing to make use of the online service over time. So, availability. Pretty much, like I've said several times already, and several times before, since you do not own this game, or anything in it, or even the virtual currency, or even the microtransaction stuff you purchased, at any point in time, it can be stopped, shut down, removed, taken away, deleted, changed, altered. At any point in time, you are giving them the okay to do this. At any point in time, if Activision or Bungie feels so, they can completely shut down this game. And you have okayed that. You said okay. If you accepted this, you have said okay to that. You have okayed the fact that you are perfectly okay with them shutting down everything. You acknowledge the fact that you did not own anything, and that you had a licensed agreement. That means you do not get your money back. Let that sink in. Just, I'm serious. Go open the door and let the fucking sink in. It's been knocking for long enough. But this is what you're agreeing to. Let's make it clear. This is what you're agreeing to. And it's all here in writing. It's all here in writing from Bungie themselves. You can, if you didn't read it, you probably should have. But let's continue. Notwithstanding anything, notwithstanding anything to the contrary, you acknowledge and agree that online services may be terminated in whole or in part at Bungie's sole discretion without notice to you. You acknowledge and agree that online services may be terminated in whole or in part at Bungie's sole discretion without notice to you. Right there. It's right there. So before anybody starts saying, no, that's not what they're talking about, it's right there. By clicking accept, you acknowledge the fact that, yes, they can terminate anything, any item, any stat, any gun, any weapon, any armor, or even the entire game at any point in time without telling you or even saying anything. Hell, tomorrow, Destiny could just completely disappear from BlizzardNet, and they wouldn't have to say anything to anyone who clicked OK to this agreement. They wouldn't have to say a damn word. And the only other option you have is reject it, and you're not allowed to play. You have to delete everything, get rid of the game. Maybe you can get a refund. I'm going to look into that, because obviously, I mean, this is ridiculous. This is just beyond, it was one of those things where it's like, it was already bad enough what they were doing with their new DLC, the fact that they're trying to get more and more money out of us. But that wasn't enough, huh, Bungie? It's just not enough, right? It's not fucking enough. It's never fucking enough, is it? It's just never fucking enough. And I might, as well, I'm going to probably have to turn this into a 2-part video, because this is, one, going to turn into a very, very fucking long video. Number 2, fuck you, Bungie. Fuck you, Activision.